First of all, look at this skin, baby. Who I'm becoming, like who I want to be, we not there yet. So until I get there, let's just focus on being basic and getting the steps to get there, if you see what I'm saying. Hey, it is your favorite friend Felicia, and we are back with another video. First of all, look at this skin, baby. My goodness. Okay, so today, this is a juicy topic for me because it's important. So I used to be so fast-minded. So I'm going to share with y'all today some of the things that I have recently done and started to incorporate in my life that allows me to not only slow down, but to find more time in my day and to be productive throughout my day. So we're going to talk about what I do to slow myself down, how I'm able to find time, and how I utilize that time when I find it to be more productive. Okay, so the first thing is I recently saw a creator, and I honestly don't remember which one it was because I was watching like a few different ones when it came to like YouTube content creation and stuff. And she was talking about how she structures her day and she does a to-do list every morning. And I thought about it and I was like, I'll give it a try. And I must say that on the days that I do not write my to-do list down in the morning, my days do not go the way, or they're not as productive as they should be, let me say that. So the first thing that I've incorporated into my day is doing a to-do list early in the morning. So that may seem kind of weird to some people, but for me, I am pretty much in charge of most of my time. I have 2 different jobs, yes, but only one of them requires a structured amount of time. It's about 3 hours a day that I dedicate to that job because I have, I told you guys I'm an RBT. So our sessions are typically 2 hours, and then I dedicate, an hour around just like traveling and all of that kind of stuff. So the first thing I do though, every single day, I write down a to-do list. And that to-do list is not necessarily a schedule of my day. I don't structure my day as far as a schedule, like, I'm gonna do this at 9, I'm gonna do this at 12. That doesn't really work for me. It produces too much anxiety. So what I do instead, my to-do list includes what are the important and key things that I need to get done for the day. So hold on, let me get my to-do list that I wrote this morning. So I just write my to-do list down in this little notebook. I was gonna buy a planner, but fun fact, I have a bad habit of just buying things, assuming that I'll build the habit once I buy it and not really doing it. So I'm making myself do it in a less appealing manner because I would prefer a different format to do this in, but I'm making myself do it to go ahead and build the habit so I can justify making the purchase, because I have, to be honest with you, wasted a lot of money on that kind of stuff. So what I do every day is, they're tabbed, anyway. So I just write out, let me see, the one from today. All I do is I go on a page, and this is today's to-do list. I just put the date and I write down the key things that I need to get done for the day. So today I had to record content. I do need to edit some videos because I had got sick last week, so I didn't get to edit the ones I needed to. So I have to edit some videos today. I have some POSHMARK orders that I need to ship out. There was a thing that I needed to do for one of my jobs that I've already done. I had to write down meditate because I typically meditate every day, but since I got sick last week, I didn't. And it's a struggle to get back into it once you're not doing it. So for me, even though I know I need to do it, I need to see it down on the list in writing. And then the last thing is I'm in a coaching class, and one of the new courses dropped today, so I need to look into that. So that's what my to-do list look like. So I do it every single morning before I actually start my day, and that allows me to not feel so anxious. Because when I look at my to-do list and I'm like, okay, these are the things that you absolutely have to get done today. If you do more than this, that's great, that's phenomenal, you had a super productive day. If you do less than this, we don't really want to do that, but we want to evaluate why you didn't complete the list. But as long as you complete the things on this list, then you're good for the day. And that gives me so much less anxiety because some of these are kind of time-consuming tasks. And what I would find myself doing is focusing so much on the time limit that I wasn't actually productive in those things. There are a bunch of different ways that you can do a to-do list. For me, I found that actually hard writing them with, good old-fashioned pen and paper is best for me because I can see it, I can check it off, all of that kind of stuff. I would have started it on my iPad because I do take a lot of notes and stuff on my iPad, but there was still something that I need, like a combination. I need a combination of electronic things and then stuff that I still need hard copy. I tried all electronic this past year, And it's been cool, but I have found that I've not been as productive as I probably would have been had I wrote in, with regular utensils and things. So that's the first thing that I do. It allows me to be more productive. It allows me to give myself more grace in each day so I don't feel so overwhelmed like there's too many things that I need to do. I prioritize my day based on what day of the week it is, the things that I need to get done for the week, just in having an understanding of, about how my days typically go. So that's the very first thing that I have done. I would highly recommend it for you guys if you're struggling with productivity, if you're not really knowing how to manage your time, or if you feel bad for giving yourself the time that you need. I found that doing these to-do lists helps me, because if I find that it's like 11 o'clock in the morning and I'm just super tired and I need a nap, I look at my to-do list and I'm like, okay, how much have you already accomplished and how much more do you need to accomplish? And then I kind of evaluate, like, okay, I can take a little nap, or maybe there's one other thing that I can do on the list real quick and then I can take a nap, and I kind of structure it like that. So it allows me that grace, and it also allows me the safety of being able to just kind of separate for a little while and taking those breaks as I need. So the next two things are actually ways that I found to add time to my day, if you will. Okay, so the first thing is I actually changed the way I dress. Now for me, I changed the way I dress with a purpose. So I know that this is probably more so like a temporary-ish type situation. It's what I'm going to kind of allow myself to do until I reach a certain point, and then I can get back into it, because I really do enjoy styling myself and looking a certain way. But right now I found that the way that I dress can allow me to actually do two things. Not only can it give me more time in my day, but it also helps me to save money and just focus on my financial goals as well. So let me break that down for you. So if you've ever watched like my TikToks and all of that kind of stuff, you know that I typically like a lot of patterns and prints and mixing and matchings and colors and all of these different things, right? Stuff that can be chaotic to look at, but also like that goes oddly well together, right? I really enjoy that. However, when I'm not necessarily in a creative mood, there can be a lot of pressure on myself to still uphold that particular look sometimes. So for me, what I found is just allowing myself to be basic for a while. I have given myself time, because it would take a minute to put those outfits together, and sometimes I could do it pretty quick, but even still that was a lot more time in my day. Now I pretty much know what I'm wearing every single day. So that gives me about at least 30 minutes, maybe even more. It also gives me extra mind space, if you will, because I know it's going to be the same all the time. It's either going to be a plain tee, because I've recently gotten into just plain t-shirts because it's easy, but I also have a lot of graphic tees as well. So it's basically a t-shirt and some jeans. And to be honest with you, on most weeks I might just pick one of the color t-shirts because I have like packs. I might just pick a color like black, and I might just wear a black t-shirt for the week and just change the bottoms out. So that way it's easier for me to, spend more time doing other things. I don't have to think so hard about, what I'm going to wear. I don't have to spend so much time running back and forth, trying on different outfits and all of these different types of things. So that's how it basically added time back to my day. And then it helps me focus on my financial goals, because for one, I'm not always looking at something different to wear. So if I were to go on vacation right now, I would probably wear about the same thing. I might pull out some of the old stuff that's already in my closet, but this has given me the mindset that it's okay for me to look this way until I get to a place to where I can actually afford the types of things that I want to afford on a more consistent basis. Because I have a pretty good repertoire in my closet. However, who I'm becoming, like who I want to be, we're not there yet. So until I get there, let's just focus on being basic and getting the steps to get there, if you see what I'm saying. And then the second thing that helped me to add time to my day was changing my sleeping patterns. Now, I know that everyone might not necessarily be able to do exactly what I have done, because a lot of people still have, 9-to-5 jobs and all of that kind of stuff, and mine is a lot more flexible. But changing your sleeping patterns, if you need to, can be something as well. So for me, I sleep real bad, y'all. Like I will sleep forever. And I had conditioned myself so much to be in bed at a certain time because I needed to wake up at a certain time and get a certain amount of sleep and all of this kind of stuff. And I was actually oversleeping. I was sleeping too much, and that's why I was always tired. I also wasn't necessarily exercising the way I needed to at some points, so that was contributing to me just being overly tired all the time. So for one, what I did at the beginning of my sabbatical is I actually kind of split my days different. So typically we have night and day, right? We either work the day shift or we work the night shift. It's typically like 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and vice versa, right? And those are, sleeping hours is during nighttime. So for me, I actually separated my sleeping pattern. So I would sleep half, if you will, of the time that I would sleep at nighttime. So it may be from like 12 a.m. to 5 a.m. or 1 a.m. to 5 or 6 a.m. or something like that. And then I would take a nap in the middle of the day. So I blocked off in my day from like 4 p.m. to like 6 p.m. And it was 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. And I blocked off those 3 hours in the middle of the day, and I took a nap. Like I went to sleep for 3 hours, and then I woke up and I started the second half of the day. That started to work out a little bit well for me, and it started to get me used to being up later. So even on the days where I don't take naps now, I'm able to stay up until 11 or 12 and still be productive rather than being super tired like I was before. So just in me changing my sleeping patterns a little bit, it helped me to gain a couple extra hours in the day, so I'm not spending my time sleeping when I don't necessarily have to be. Now, I ain't no sleep person to be able to tell y'all what is and isn't the adequate amount of sleep. I just listen to my body, and I know what my body can function on, what my body can function well on, what my body needs, where my body might be struggling, all of those types of things. I just started to listen to my body so I could kind of get to know those things. So now that I know that, I'm able to adjust accordingly. And there's sometimes that I may even incorporate days where I'm like, you know what, this is going to be a day to where if I feel like I want to take a nap, this is just going to be like a marathon nap day, and I just kind of listen to my body in that aspect. But in changing those sleeping patterns, like I said, it's giving me extra hours in my day because I don't sleep as much, or I'm more productive when I'm awake. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to share with y'all is what I actually do with all of the time that I have, right? So in order to be productive, there are a couple of different things that I do with my time, especially with smaller increments of time. So a good example would be, it takes me about 20-ish minutes to get to my kiddo's house that I do RBT therapy with, or ABA therapy with. So I'm one of those people who I like to be early. Now that used to give me so much anxiety because I felt like, for one, it was taken away from my day because I didn't plan to do anything other than get there and wait. I was constantly in a game of getting somewhere and then waiting. And I'm talking early, like I'm an early person. So I typically get to my kiddo's house about 10 or 15 minutes beforehand, and depending on what his bus schedule is like, there may be a couple extra minutes in between. What I do during that time, instead of just sitting in my car scrolling through social media or anything like that, I actually always carry this particular book bag with me, and depending on the day, depending on what's going on, it has different things in it. So today it has one book in it, and this is the I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy. Really good book. I'll link it to my Amazon store in the description if y'all want to get a copy. I would highly recommend. This is a fun leisure read because I brought it out here because I know I'm going to be out here. But anyway, there's typically always a book and my iPad in here. There's probably a couple of different books. There may be a textbook, a regular book, and then my iPad in here. And what I tend to do is read. So I'll either read something, or I'll look up an article real quick on my iPad, or I'll listen to something that I might listen to for class. I make sure that in those times that I might be waiting or preparing for something else, that I'm productive in those times. Another thing that I do that probably sounds like counterintuitive, but I also allow myself a lot of breaks. Like for instance, when I'm editing a video, I might allow myself, well, this is a bad example, so let me do a different one. When I'm reading for class, I allow myself frequent breaks. So I may read like 2 or 3 pages and then give myself a 5 or 10 minute break. Those breaks give me the rest that I need. It doesn't overwhelm me, and it helps me to remember that I don't have to get it all done right this second. And then another thing is I multitask. So what I do when I'm editing videos is I may also watch TV, or I may also listen to another podcast or watch a video that I have for class or something like that. But something that I can do while I'm also editing a video, if that makes sense. So I just try to make the most of my time. And then the best thing that I can do is actually slow down. I'll probably make a whole nother video. Let me know in the comments, would you like to see a different video on how I've taught myself how to slow down? I feel like I'm super shiny, y'all. I can't even really tell. But anyway, skincare on fleek. If you want to see it, let me know, child, because I love my skincare routine. I'm so ADHD sometimes. Anyway, so what was I talking about, y'all? Slowing down. Yes, so in me slowing down, it has allowed me to be more productive, and it has allowed me to make more use of my time. So I told y'all earlier that I was someone who was always fast-paced and fast-minded, and when you pair that with someone who is always early and things like that, I was always rushing time. So I was always rushing the clock to get to what I needed to do so I can go ahead and get it over with. Now I don't do that, and I more so look at the clock. I take the time to say, okay, I have 8 minutes to do X, Y, and Z. Can anything else be done in 8 minutes? Like, is there something that I'm thinking that I want to do that I don't have enough time for, that I actually do have plenty of time for? And sitting down and spending 15 seconds to have that little interaction with myself every time that I start to get anxious or feel like I shouldn't be doing anything or feel like I don't have anything to do or whatever the case may be, it has really helped me to just be more productive and be more appreciative and just enjoy the moment that I'm in. All right, y'all. So a quick recap. How I add time to my day. Well, first of all, how I'm more productive is starting a to-do list every day. If you want a more in-depth video on my thought process on my to-do list, then you just let me know and I'll probably do that for you. But also, adding time to my day is sacrificing some sleep hours, basically is what I was doing. And then also, what else did I do? Oh, changing the way that I wear and just allowing, and I love that, y'all. I love the concept of changing what I'm wearing, because it's requiring me to think a little bit more about who I am, what I want to portray. And I know that sounds crazy because we're just talking about clothes, but for someone who, for large portions of any given year, clothes is a really big deal for me. It's good for me to see that mindset shift and allow my thoughts to just kind of flow through, if that makes sense. Like, I'm able to process things different. I'm able to find an actual mindset that I can stick to other than just looking a certain way. I'm actually able to get to know me, get to know who I am, what it is that I'm trying to accomplish, and how this helps me to accomplish that. And that has been wonderful. So yeah, recap is I make sure I do my to-do list every day. I've changed my sleeping patterns and saw where I could sacrifice a little bit of sleep. And then I've also changed how I am dressing for the moment. And then when I am using that time, what I'm doing is trying to make the most of any given moment that I have, whether that requires me to just constantly have books available to read with me, or constantly have my iPad to be able to write down content ideas or edit videos or whatever the case may be. I'm just trying to do things that maximizes my productivity in the times that I'm, being productive. So that way, when I'm not being productive, I don't feel overwhelmed. So I hope you liked today's video. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, all of those great things. Let me know in the comments, what do y'all want to hear more of, friend? This video I actually really like doing. It was a really good one. I didn't feel as stressed out, so that was good. But y'all let me know, what do you want to hear more of? All right, y'all.